Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Wednesday, the 11th of December. Well, there's some very interesting horses running at Hexham tomorrow. Um, I just thought it was worth a bet. Am I confident in them? No. There's two or three interesting ones, but I've gone for five selections in total. I've made that into I think it's a 10 pence each way lucky 31, and I've actually backed two of the horses each way singles. The more confident the more confident of the two, I back them in each way single. So I'm going to talk you through it now. So as I said, yes, it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 31. So let me get into it. So the first selection is Lure House. I've left the price because it should never be 10 to 1. It's currently tens. I tell you what, honestly, you know how the price has been drifting. I wouldn't surprise it. It wouldn't surprise me if it were 25, 28 to 1. This shouldn't be 10 to 1. So, as I said, Lure House, I've left the price in the 12.20 at Hexham, paying four places instead of three. This horse is not a good horse, but it occasionally runs close to its handicap mark, or its racing post rating runs close to its handicap mark. That tells me that it could get competitive. They are paying four places, but as I said, it isn't, in my opinion, it isn't a 10 to 1 shot. Um, the trainer's called Catch Blisset. Never heard of him in my life. The jockey, I've heard of jockey, is Bruce Lynn. So this horse has won, I believe it's over course and distance, but it's definitely won over course. It's quite a regular over the course. And this is a very funny course, Hexham is, because to be honest, I don't think I've got a good record at Hexham because you know when you see horses run and they're travelling well and then they go up that hill at Hexham and stop, that's normally one of my selections. um, it's just frustrating at Hexham. But yeah, that's how my selections normally run. So yeah, as I said, Lure House in the 12.20 at Hexham, paying four places instead of three. Could hopefully sneak a place at a big price, but it isn't currently a big price. The second selection is Tory Hill in the 120 at Hexham. So what I've gone for, it's not ideal putting the bet on at this time of night because you don't get best odds guarantee because it has to be after 9 o'clock. So, but I've left the prices in the end anyway. So let me just have a quick click on this horse. Right, so this is one of the horses similar to the next one down, Westerdale, where I think there's plenty of doubts over the more fancied runners in these two races. Um, there's horses that have come from point to point in. There's horses that are having the first time over hurdles where they've been on the national flat. I just think there are, as I said, question marks over some of the more fancied horses. I think this horse has actually ran twice. Yeah, nothing fantastic, but it has got experience, and I think it posted a racing post rating, I think in the low 80s. Well, the the risky thing is that this is its third run in a novice hurdle. Well, they could be well be setting up for a. Hold on a minute. Sorry, they could well be. Even I'm talking myself to sleep. So you've got the risk where it's his third run, and it's just looking to qualify for a handicap. That's the risk. But I do believe there are a lot of question marks over a lot of the runners. So I do think it's worth having on side, and I think it's currently 28 to 1, but it could still be bigger. The third selection is Westerdale, and once again, this horse has run twice, so it could easily be one of those horses that it's never even seen in this race because they're trying to get a handicap mark for it. But I'm looking at it differently, thinking that it's that bad a race, it might sneak a place. Once again, it's a very big price, and I think it's got a little bit of a chance. Right. The fourth selection, I do really like the look of it. I've taken the price. Um, so the selection is Beat the Boom at 25 to 1 in the 220 at Hexham, paying five places instead of four. So this horse has got It's not got non-trier written all over it in previous races. What it is, it's been given an impossible task because it wants a good test of stamina, like round about 3 miles. However, when it's been qualifying in the hurdles, if you've got a horse that wants a stiff test, the last thing you're going to do. So let's say this horse wants 3 mile and a stiff test. So if so, one of its runs was, I believe, over 2 mile at Kelso, and it was held up. This horse, it would have been trying that day. However, it could never possibly have really realistically won that race or got placed, because if you've got a staying horse being held up over a distance, what would feel like a sprint distance for this horse, then it's never going to have a chance. And it stayed on well, and it did all right. I think it was stepped up to 2 mile 5.5 at Kelso again. But Kelso is a very, like, I don't know if you call it a tight track. It's a very nippy track. Don't go wrong, it's got a stiff uphill finish, but a lot of the time it pays to be up with the pace. Well, this horse was a long way behind that day as well. And then its most recent run, it was never involved, but there was a jockey, and I can't remember his name now. It's Jay Anderson or claiming seven. I'd never really heard of him before. Jay Thompson, I think his name were. Um, and it was never involved. I think it came ninth of 12. However, I don't always look into that. I look to see what Racing Post rating it posted, and I think its handicap mark is something like 84 or 87, but it posted a Racing Post rating of 78. That tells me that it didn't run too bad a race. Um, you may not agree with me. That's fine, but Beat the Boom, in my opinion, will come on for the run. It's trained by Jackie Stevens, so you'd have thought that she's a smaller time trainer. You'd have thought a horse was probably a better off running regularly rather than being trained at home, if you know what I mean. As in, like, she might not have quite the facilities that some of the other trainers do. So to get them fit, they might have to visit the racetrack more often than most. So it has had a recent run. It was probably, as I said, it's probably still work to do on the horses in fitness wise. So it's probably come on for the run. I think with it paying 5 places, I think 25 to 1's a crazy price. But don't get me wrong, it'll probably drift to hundreds and come placed. What? Not saying come placed, but probably drift to hundreds, and I've taken 25s again. But we'll see. So the more obvious chance, and to be honest, I never normally see John Joe O'Neill with runners at Hexham, but there's a little bit of prize money for this. Like, it's quite a competitive race actually, but it's not a fantastic race. Sorry. So the selection is Imperial B Day. I think it's B Day. I've probably got people sniggering. Imperial B Day at 13 to 2 in the one. No, it's in the 250 at Hexham, paying 4 places instead of 3. Um, yeah, I just think it's got a chance. But the main reason I've gone for it basically is JP McManus, which it has very few runners unless they're trained by Lucinda Russell at Hexham. So the each way singles are the two where I've taken the prices. I probably shouldn't have took the prices, to be fair, but tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm actually going to cash out, and I'm going to replace the bet, and I'm going to leave it to SP. You watch. This is going to be. So as you can see, I'm doing that now. So I'm going to leave the single to SP. Same. In fact, I'm going to leave that one. That one's the John Joe O'Neill trained one, so I've left that one at 13 to 2. So as you can see, I've now, or you it's not updated yet. That's testing my luck in the last race at Southwell, and it came last. So that's the kind of luck I'm probably I may have got, or hopefully I've got rid of my bad luck. But anyway, as you can see, it was a 10 pence each way, lucky 31, and then I backed the last 2 selections each way singles. You can back them all if you want in each way singles. It's just I want to keep the stakes down. So if you give me a like or a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. So I wish you the very best of luck. Keep the stake low. Keep the stakes low. By the way, these are not these are not confident selections. These are hopeful and probably horses that are unrealistic of a place, but hopefully, bit of luck, we can get 3 or 4 places. Oh, by the way, it was a good day the other day. I didn't forgot to mention that. I'll only mention it once because I don't keep a record. But we had a 66 to 1 second, Bear Park, I think what it's called, and I think we also got maybe a 28 to 1. I'm not sure, but it was something. It was something like five estate. I think it's 17 quid by or £6 estate, £17 by. So not bad, double money. So I wish you the very best of luck, Charlie Winters. Over and out. Cheers, mate.